Every 4.5 minutes, a baby is born with some kind of birth defect. We can eliminate this statistic through a new scientific and controversial breakthrough: designer babies. I reviewed multiple sources and have extensively researched this topic. In this speech, I'll be talking about birth defects, its causes, and a solution to it. First, I will be explaining common birth defects. There are 4, and they are heart defects, cleft lip and palate, Down syndrome, and spina bifida. Who here knows anyone with a birth defect? For me, one of my close friends, Noah Bella, had complex heart defects and heterotaxy syndrome, which is a condition that causes organs and structures to form on the wrong side of the body. By the time Noah was 5, she had undergone 5 open heart surgeries and had several other heart-related procedures. Just like Noah, hundreds of thousands of other kids have a birth defect with ranging severity. Congenital heart defect, like Noah had, are the most common birth defects. Defects of the heart can affect the walls of the heart, the valves of the heart, and the arteries and veins near the heart. They can disrupt the normal flow of blood through the heart. The blood flow can slow down, go in the wrong direction, or in the wrong place, or be blocked completely, according to the National Library of Medicine. Babies born with a heart defect, depending on how severe, can undergo open heart surgery to correct and repair the defect. If the baby survives, the child will have to regularly visit the cardiologist the rest of its life to make sure that the heart is still functioning properly and no new problems have arisen. The next most common is the cleft lip and palate. A cleft lip is an opening or a split in the upper lip. A surgery called cheloplasty is performed to close the upper lip with stitches and improve the shape and symmetry of the nose and the mouth. A cleft palate, on the other hand, is an opening or split in the roof of the mouth that is corrected through a palatoplasty surgery. In this surgery, the doctor has to close the cleft in layers and also has to rearrange and repair the palate so it doesn't affect the way the child speaks. Down syndrome is another defect. A normal person has 23 pairs of chromosomes, half given from the mother and the other half given from the father. A person with Down syndrome has partial or a full extra copy of chromosome 21. Each person with Down syndrome has their own set of intellectual and developmental problems that can range from mild, moderate, to severe. Common features, though, include flattened face, small head, protruding tongue, upward slanting eyelids, and poor muscle tone. Lastly, spina bifida. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, when the neural tube doesn't close all the way, the backbone that protects the spinal cord doesn't form and close as it should. This often results in damage to the spinal cord and nerves. There are 3 types of it, ranging from mild to severe. Spina bifida occulta is the mildest and doesn't cause any disabilities. There is just a small gap in the spine. Meningocele causes a sac of fluid to form in the baby's back, but the spinal cord luckily isn't in the sac, so only minor disabilities are caused to the child. Myelomeningocele is the most severe. With this form of spina bifida, there's a sac of fluid in the baby's back, like meningocele, but instead the spinal cord and the nerves are in this sac and have been severely damaged. This damage can affect how the person goes to the bathroom and can also cause loss of feeling in the legs or feet and an inability to move the legs. Now you've learned a little bit about each of the 4 common birth defects. Let's take a look now at what is the cause of these birth defects. Common causes of birth defects are genetic factors, chromosome problems, infection, and exposure to medicine, chemicals, or other agents. Noah Bella's congenital heart defect and heterotaxy syndrome was caused by mutations in her genes. Let's dive in further. There are many infections a woman can contract during pregnancy that can negatively affect her and her baby, such as rubella, Zika virus, toxoplasmosis, cytomegalovirus, lymphocystic choriomeningitis virus, and many others. I'm just going to discuss a few just so you understand the point of how contracting an infection during pregnancy can lead to birth defects. First is rubella, a viral infection you can contract from the air or saliva. Symptoms include low fever, sore throat, and a rash that covers your entire body. Fetal defects caused by rubella virus include eye manifestations, congenital heart defects, hearing loss, microcephaly, bone disease, mental retardation, and diabetes, according to the virology blog. Another is the Zika virus, spread through mosquito bites. This virus, if contracted during pregnancy, can cause a birth defect called microcephaly and other severe fatal brain defects. It may also cause neurodevelopmental abnormalities. Finally is toxoplasmosis, a parasite found in food. Symptoms can include muscle pain, fever, and headache that lasts for weeks. This infection affects the baby's brain and other organs, particularly the eyes. Second cause is exposure to medicine, chemicals, and/or other agents. This is also can be defined as teratogens, which are substances that can cause malformations of an embryo. Examples of teratogens include alcohol, smoking, and/or drugs. This is the only cause that can be preventable as long as the mother makes consciously healthy choices for the baby and herself. Lastly is genetic and chromosomal factors. According to the Cleveland Clinic, about 20% of birth defects are caused by genetic or hereditary factors. Genes are made up of DNA from the parents and determine some characteristics of the offspring. A gene mutation is a permanent alteration in the DNA sequence that makes up a gene, such that the sequence differs from what is found in most people. A permanent alteration in the DNA sequence can lead to a birth defect. Lastly, birth defect caused by chromosomal factors occur when there are too few or too many chromosomes, such as in the case of Down syndrome. Now from this, you can better understand the causes of birth defects. So how can we solve this problem? The solution is through the use of CRISPR technology and designer babies. In 2017, after 12 long years of fighting congenital heart disease and heterotaxy syndrome, Noah passed away. Noah was a fierce lover of life and was a constant ray of sunshine. She spent her entire life fighting for awareness and raising awareness for congenital heart disease and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to go towards research and advocacy. Although infection and exposure to medicine, chemicals, or other agents can't necessarily be prevented, designer babies is a solution to birth defects caused by genetic and chromosomal factors. So first, what are designer babies? A designer baby is a baby genetically engineered in vitro, or in a test tube, for specifically selected traits, which can vary from lowered disease risk to gender selection. CRISPR is a technology used to create a designer baby. CRISPR are specialized stretches of DNA. The protein Cas9, or CRISPR-associated, is an enzyme that acts like a pair of molecular scissors capable of cutting strands of DNA, allowing the ability to manipulate and edit genes. Researchers from the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard developed a new gene editing technology called prime editing that works alongside CRISPR-9 to provide even more precise results. Andrew V. Anzalone and his colleagues in their research say that prime editing combines the CRISPR-Cas9 methods with a different process that can generate new DNA. The tool nicks the DNA strand, then transfers an edited sequence to the targeted DNA, allowing researchers to smoothly insert and delete parts of human cells. Anzalone's research concluded that with prime editing and CRISPR, 89% of birth defects caused by genetics have been corrected. With CRISPR technology and prime editing, which gives scientists the ability to manipulate and edit genes, scientists can correct the mutated genes that result in birth defects. A common objection against designer babies and CRISPR is that it is unethical and people will use it to make their baby more superior than others. I agree that designer babies and CRISPR can be misused by people. Although children born with birth defects can die or have a shorter lifespan and could possibly die. We have the technology to do so, so with limitations, CRISPR should be used in order to give a child a chance to live a normal and healthy life. This is a huge breakthrough in science. CRISPR and prime editing could change the lives of hundreds of thousands of babies. The CRISPR technology and creation of designer babies should be used to prevent birth defects. Parents want the absolute best for their children, and no one wants to watch their child suffer. The world is already a hard place as it is, so why should a child already have to endure so much pain and suffering right when they are born? We can use this technology to help improve a child's life and guarantee them a happy and healthy life. Thank you.